seeing what people are capable of during push, bringing the energy, and the North Denver office is going to be absolutely on fire the next couple of weeks. So Mr. Alex Mazurek, District Manager in North Denver, teaching you about more people to see. Let's give it up for Maz.
Let go! What up, ballas? All right, so title is More People to See. This is going to be a talk that you guys have heard so many times. I think we just did this last night in the North Denver office, but you can never do enough of this. There's always more people to see. There's always more people out there. So I'm going to help you guys brainstorm. We are going to build this thing up. We're going to get you in front of the right people. This is going to be a big part to this. And this is not just going to be now. This is something you guys are going to work hard on for the next couple of days as you lead up into your call days. So what's great about the job is it's a science. That's why I love this business so much, because nothing is left up to chance. And so the goal of this talk is to build a massive, massive funnel up at the top. If you have a huge funnel at the top, it creates the bottom of the funnel bigger and bigger as well. So a huge funnel at the top means you got a crap ton of people to call. So we're going to be talking in this message about Mission 100, Mission 150, 200, 250 plus for those of you that have been here for a while and have a lot of leads on your list. But there are always more people you can add. So things to keep in mind as we go through this message. I want you guys to put aside all fears, put aside all nervousness. I want you to pretend for a minute that you have zero fear, that nothing can get in your way. Like, how would you act? What would you do in this job if you had no fear? You had no F's to give about anything that anybody said, did, or acted. How much could you do? Who would you reach out to? So as we go through this message, be open-minded. Do not hold yourself back. As we cover some of these thought joggers and people that you can see, if there's somebody that comes to mind that you haven't talked to since elementary school, put them on the frickin' list. That's somebody you can do a demo for. That's someone's mom who you can sell a homemaker to. So be open-minded. I shared this quote yesterday with the team, but too many of us are not living our dreams because we are living our fears. Too many of us are not living our dreams because we're living our fears. Have zero fear these next couple of days. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone, so go all out. We all still have people to see. There's so much potential, and as long as we're willing to reach out, we can get those. Because all of us have people we can call, but we all have people we're very uncomfortable calling, but that doesn't matter. Again, going in with no F's to give. So don't make any excuses about how you've already reached out to everybody you could have. Quote I just read earlier, it says, excuses are the nails used to build a house of failure. Push is all about making it happen no matter what. The reality of all of our situations is every single one of us, if we really wanted to, could sell $30,000 to our social network. We could make it happen. The tools are there. That's the best part about Vector these days. It is literally impossible to ever run out of people to show cut code to. It's possible to have people you're uncomfortable to show, but it is impossible to run out of people. The networks are just too huge. I got a couple stories before I segue into this. And think about it. Anybody that's ever done anything successful, opened up a business, opened up a restaurant, they've always had help from people, and a lot of people. Investors. Like, think about somebody starting a new venture and they've had to get funds for that. Well, they've had to reach out to millionaires and billionaires and literally ask, hey, can I have your money? Do you trust me enough for this business? And they get invested into for that. Like, the most successful people reach out, and they reach out to people that they have no idea who they are. They just know they got money and they can start their venture that way. All right. So the worst thing that happens is that they say no. You're not going to die. You're not going to get blackmailed by the world for asking for a knife presentation. The worst thing anybody could say to you ever is no. No, thank you. And then you go on living the rest of your life never talking to that person ever again, like you were planning on doing anyways. There's so many people. And I want to give a quick story, because this story comes to my mind every single time I talk about names list. And I'll tell you guys, I have helped so many people succeed really long-term in this business purely because of this talk. And this example is huge. So there was a girl in the South Denver office. Her name's Devin Foster. And Devin, her first summer on the job, she was one of the top reps. She sold about $27,000 worth of Cutco, an incredible representative. And she gained a ton of leads through that. She had over 200 recommendations on her list when she left for college. In that transition from being down in South Denver to CSU and then coming back, she lost all of them. Every lead she had, every phone number she had, every avenue that she thought she had tapped into was gone when she came back. And so she came back in a fluster because she was either going to have to work at the beach or she was going to have to find a way to do Cutco from scratch. At the beach wasn't really her top option. And so when we sat down, she was nervous. She was very uncomfortable with where she was at in her business. She had no idea what she was going to do. And this is where the Facebook program, the Snapchat and Instagram program really took off. And I sat down and I was like, Dev, how many people do you have on your Facebook? And Devin said there was a point in her life where when she got a friend request, she just accepted it. And she had over 2,000. Now, again, this is Devin's story. I don't think everybody here has over 2,000 friends on Facebook, but you have a lot. But she had 2,000 friends on Facebook, and I was like, there's our starting point. That's what we're going to do. And she dove in. Now, I will tell you that she was highly reluctant to do it. It's not a comfortable thing. But again, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. And she had an ultimatum. I was like, Deb, you can either do this, succeed here, and grow with the company, or you can go work it at the beach. It's your choice. What would you rather do? Reach out to some people and try it, or go work an hourly wage job? And she had just made $7-8 grand the summer before, so she wasn't about to go work hourly anywhere. And so, and again, this is a different situation, but Devin sat down for a week and a half, and I kid you not, if you were to go look on her Facebook right now, every single friend that she has on Facebook has a message that says, hey, hope you're doing really well. I know this is a little bit out of the blue, but I have a question for you. It's about a scholarship I'm trying to win for school. Could I grab your phone number and give you a call? And that was a copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. And for a week and a half, everybody got that message. I'm not shitting you. And she got responses. By the way, by the end of all of this, of getting numbers, and she was messaging people who she'd never even met before, who she got random requests from. She got to the point where no Fs were given. And she got over 80 parents' phone numbers. So she got a lot of friends' numbers. She called those. And throughout that process, she added 80 more names and numbers to her contact list. She ended up selling $70,000 that year. Ended up running the pilot office. Ended up having an opportunity to sell $1 million homes. And it all started from that one decision to say, screw it, I'm going to do it. They're out there for me. So Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, guys, whatever you want. And the worst thing somebody said to her was no, or who are you? She was messaging everybody. She didn't care. My name is Devin Foster. I'm a Cutco rep. Could I please have your mom's number? She messaged her ex-boyfriend from 6th grade, and they dated for like 3 days. You know, those exes you have from middle school. And he was like, okay, it's kind of weird. Yeah, here's my phone number. She called him. And again, she was very reluctant to do this. I forced her to do all of this because, again, as your managers, we typically know what's really good for you. And so I forced her to call this kid, and she was very nervous. She got his mom's phone number. Her mom, excuse my language, she's like, man, you got balls for calling me. And she went and did a demo for this kid's mom and sold a red homemaker to her. And then she sold 4 homemaker sets to her neighbors because they all just asked what she bought. So just for reaching out to that one person, Def had over $4,000 or $5,000 in sales. This was up in somewhere in Parker. So they're out there. Those people are going to buy Cutco from somebody. They're going to get recommended to a Cutco rep at some point in their life. And I've told you guys this a million times, but I would rather it be you selling them Cutco than somebody else. So rip the frickin' Band-Aid off. Just do it. This is going to set your push up because everything that all the speakers so far have given you is possible. You can do it. And especially if you got the names and numbers, you can do it. At that point, it's all about action. So let's build this thing. Be open-minded as we go through this. So we're thinking mission 100, mission 200. There are avenues. If you put in the work and utilize all of them, you will reap the rewards. So today, tomorrow, Friday, really use those days to build these things up. And we're going to go through some thought jogging. So let's talk about the process. In your notes, I want you guys to write down the process. Trust the process. First thing under the process, and this is the process for building up your list to 100, 200, and this is going to take some outside of this meeting work to do this. But the first thing that you want to go back to, I want you guys to write down your original list. That original list from training, when's the last time you flipped over to page 20 and 21 in your manual and took a look at that list? And took a look at all the friends that were on that list, all the coaches, the neighbors, the mom and dad's friends. That list, there's still people on there. And again, as we go through some of these categories, you might only get 1, 2, 3, maybe 5 people from some categories. You might have a category where you pop 20 to 30 people, but every single person counts. And especially that initial list, those are easy. Those are freaking layups. Start off your phone jams with some really easy people to go see. So original list, try to get a top 50 from that original list and reorganize that guy. In your packets, there's a best people to see. We're going to be diving into this. The next thing under the process, as you're organizing your list in these next couple of days that I want you guys to focus on writing down, is your best leads, the best recommendations that you've gotten. And it doesn't matter how long ago you referred to them or how many times you've called them, they're still on your list. You can still give them a shot. The next thing under the process, guys, is your chicken list. And be honest with yourself. All of us have done a chicken list before. All of us have done multiple. My direct manager when I was a representative, her name was Mary Kate. And we had to do 4 of these throughout the summertime with me. 4 chicken lists. And we didn't have the scripts that we had. We didn't have the calling friends for parents numbers. It was literally off the cuff. Can I have your mom's number? And like fingers crossed. And you guys have all the avenues. You've got all of the programs in place right now. So I want to walk briefly through this chicken list. Can everybody grab out that memory jogger? Does everybody have this guy? Everybody grab this guy out. And I want to just skim through this really quickly. And I want you to just circle or write a number next to this on how many you could get from these categories. And some of these categories are funny. This was also made by somebody in the South, so the grammar is off. I don't think they believe in grammar down south. But as we go through this, I'm going to go through this quickly. I just want to mention some of these things and hopefully something sparks some interest. But you got friends, best friends, your prom group. Like think about all the people that you went to prom with. You know them. You're in. Every person from your high school, just because you went to Thornton High School, you're in automatically with that family. Families have such a tie to high schools and colleges and churches and organizations that anybody that's been involved with that, they're down. Most of the time, they're in for helping out. Who's the quarterback of the football team? Who cheered? Who do you know that's in sales? Your principals. Your principals from your high school, those are great people to reach out to. The teachers, who are your favorite teachers? Who's your least favorite teacher? Go sell an ultimate set to them. Go show them how great you are now. They can shove it, you know? Your coaches, Little League. Guys, you can go back as far as you want. Most of these, every single one of these people, when you give them a shout, by the way, they're fired up to hear from you. Let's see how life is going. Who's the mom that's like always involved? Like think about back in the day, who's the mom that was like always around, always in the high school for some reason? The mom that was like always like the PTA meeting mom. Who's that mom? Did you go to a former church? Who's your pastor? Your oldest family friends? As I go through this list, I'm even thinking Tom and Renee. Tom and Renee, they used to watch me when I was like 4 years old. I didn't show them Cutco. Like that's one person that I could add onto my list immediately. Tom and Renee. Damn. Do it. You won't. Who's got the biggest house? And when you think about the biggest house, you might not know them directly. The biggest house, house, of somebody that I knew, they lived like I grew up on this like hill, and they lived like way up at the top of the hill. And I had to like talk to my neighbors and do demos for my neighbors. So I finally met somebody who knew them way up on top of the hill, and I finally got their contact info. But who can you talk to get somebody who's got the biggest house? Who drives the nicest car? Who's a part of the country club? Who's your family doctor? Have you shown your family doctor yet? Or your dentist? Orthodontist? Orthodontists love steak knives. I don't know why. They love steak knives. They love Siggies. Who's your ortho? Who did your braces back in the day? You paid them way too much money for that. They owe you. Oh, that's true. So true. Chiropractor. See, it says Alabama season ticket holders. Screw Alabama. We don't have any of this here. Who did you used to spend the night at their house? First girlfriend or boyfriend? Like back in the day. There's a couple others here that I liked. Prettiest wife. Prettiest wife. That was Megan McNamara for me. Holly McNamara. Bought a homemaker. Did you have a nanny who's an architect? I'm not going to run through these, but take some time and sit down and do your business a service and really think about these. Some of them are ridiculous, but you have people in a lot of them. And it's about reaching out and finding the avenues to go and do that. So I want you guys to write down a couple categories as we go through this. And I want you to think hard on these categories, that if you did everything you possibly could in your power on this category, how many could you get? So the first category that I want you guys to write down, and this is on top of these ones here, but just as a brief exercise for us, I want you guys to write down neighbors. Have you actually shown every one of your neighbors? And who do you need to talk to make that happen? Is it your parents? Is it the neighbor that you've already done a demo for and you need to go back over to his or her house and say, hey, I need your help, tie them into your goals, and get the rest of the neighbors on the block? Is it literally just going to their door, knocking on it, and telling them what you're doing? If they're your neighbor, you can go and do that. You can go and get their contact info if they're your neighbor. You have an immediate demo. They have an obligation of being your neighbor to do a demo with you. They have no out. You're going to see them all the time. They're required.
I see you're free today.
So write down neighborhood, and I want you guys to write a number next to that. How many from your neighborhood are you committed to getting phone numbers for and doing demos for? Let's talk about easy demos, guys. I want to kick off your Friday and Saturday phone jams, like I said, with layups. You can get some easy people booked from this. Next one I want you to write down. This is for some of you guys, but I want you guys to write siblings. If you got siblings older or younger, what do you need to do to bribe them? Buy them stuff. So Zach, sitting right here, he just promised his brother that if his brother got him enough contacts where he could go sell 3 sets to them, as soon as he sells that 3rd set, he's going to buy his brother a K-bar. And his brother's hyped on that. And he's hooking Zach up with phone numbers right now of his friends' parents. So who do you need to bribe? What do they need? Age range it. If they're 8, buy them a Snickers. If they're older, Lacey Jones bought her little brother an Xbox. She's like, if you can give me 100 names and numbers of kids' parents that you go to, he was in middle school with, I will buy you an Xbox. And this is when Xbox, it was a 360. I think it was like $450. This was in her fast start, and she sold 9K. All of her virtuals, by the way. Next one I want you guys to write down is Facebook, Insta, and Snap. This is a conglomerate of those. Facebook, Insta, and Snap. How many are you committed to getting before the call days come up on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? I remember this kid from the South Denver office again. Some of you guys are going to know him, Dominic Arcuri. And Dom Arcuri, he was coming in for a PC one day, and he was at like $16,000 in sales right now, and he was just shooting the and he's like, man, Maz, I just want a baller. He's like, I want somebody just such a freaking stud that I know if I roll up to this house, I'm selling ultimate like at a minimum. And he was just kind of like spitballing, and so I was like, all right, who's the richest kid at Arapahoe High School? Who drives the nicest car at Arapahoe? And he's like, this kid named Cole. And I was like, all right, do you have Cole's phone number? Because we're going to call him. And he did not know Cole. Him and Cole like had a class or two together. They went all throughout high school together, but just were acquainted. And I was like, well, let's a friend request him on Facebook. So in this PC, that's all we did. We friend requested Cole on Facebook. He got the acceptance. He sent the phone number to him, he sent the approach to Cole. We waited till we got Cole's phone number, and then we called Cole immediately, and he got Cole's dad's phone number. He said, who'd be easiest to talk to, your mom or your dad? And Cole was like, my dad is, he'd probably be the best. He's the nicest of the two. And so he got Cole's dad's phone number, and Dominic went and sold Cole's dad 8 galley sets. He went and sold 15 gift sets, and then a personal set for himself. The guy did like custom kitchens or something like that, and it was over an $8,500 order. He had his 20K promotion with that. He was at 30% for that sale, and it was all because he reached out to somebody. These people are out there. Go get them. Somebody else was going to sell that guy 8 galleys if he wasn't going to do it. So page 31 is going to become your best friend these next couple of days. Next category I want you guys to write down Thank you. Go back to past customers. And this has been mentioned a couple times in the talks. But call back your past customers, especially your best ones. Think about the people that bought, sets from you, homemakers or above too, and the people that give you 5 to 10. Do you think if somebody bought a homemaker from you and they gave you 10 leads, that was their limit? Like they were like, that's capping it. 10's tough. I can get there. There's no freaking way. There's no way. Because people that do well are also really well connected and they have a lot of friends. They got a lot of people that they can recommend you to. 10 was just what you asked for. So 10 is what they gave you. So call back past customers, and the conversation is really easy. When you call back a past customer, you give them a shout and you say, hey, what's up, Mrs. Jones? How you doing? It's Alex, your knife guy. And they're like, oh, what's up, Alex? I'm like, I'm doing great. Well, I was just giving you a shout because I wanted to check up on your Cutco, make sure you still had all your fingers, no hospital visits. Are we good? And they love it. They're like, yeah, we're doing great. Cutco's awesome. And you say, awesome. Well, I just wanted to call and thank you again for how much you've helped me out so far. I'm a top rep in the office now. I'm moving up in the company. I'm really enjoying my experience, and you had such a big impact on that. So I just first off wanted to call and say thank you a ton for that. And also I wanted to tell you about something that I'm doing. We are in the biggest competition period of my life. It's an opportunity for me to prove myself. It's an opportunity for me to potentially get promoted to an assistant manager, but I have to work really hard these next 2 weeks in order to give myself the best chance at doing that. And I know you already recommended me to some really awesome people. Your friend Janice already bought a set too. She's so cool. But I know you already helped me out a ton, but I was wondering, is there any way you could think of like a couple more nice people that I could potentially reach out to and just do appointments with? And your really supportive customers, especially the ones that you were passionate with, you really shared your goals with, they got more people. Call your best customers, call your worst customers, call your vegetable peeler customers, call every single one of them. Number one, it's great for the follow-up and the check-in. They love that customer service, and it creates good retention for that customer. They're not gonna buy from anyone but you, and they got more people for you to go see. So that's the next category, is going back to past customers. The last category that I'm gonna go over with you guys is mom and dad. If you haven't already, it's time to have the talk. You know the talk they gave you? This is a different talk. This is the talk, the most important talk. And this has been mentioned by almost every single person, and it's about the support. It's about getting their buy-in to you. And it's being so vulnerable with mom and dad. And how you have this talk with mom and dad. So under this talk, I want you to jot a couple things down. The first thing I want you to jot down is be vulnerable. Let them know how big you're planning on going, and let them know how scared you are to do it. Just be like, I'm scared because I'm about to work harder than I've ever worked before. I'm excited, but I'm scared. And that's why I'm talking to you right now. I need your help. I want to do this. I want to prove myself. I want to prove to myself. I want to prove to you guys, and I want to prove to everybody around me that I can be great in this business, but I need some help. And I say this, the parent talk is so important because when I first started this job, and I told the story to the North Denver office yesterday, but when I started this job, my parents weren't the most supportive of it. They gave me 7 people that I could put on my list coming into training, and they were 7 people I already had. And then I set a demo up with my parents, and I went and did a demo for them. And they were my first no sale, and they didn't give me any leads when I asked for recommendations. They gave me nothing. My dad walked out of the room midway through the appointment, and so it took them a while to get on board. And here's the reason: if this has happened to you, your parents, and even if they've hooked you up with a lot, this is still the reason. Your parents at first are going to give you a finite number of people to see, because they first off want to see if you're committed. They want to see if you're actually taking this job seriously, or if you're just going to sell knife for a week or 2. And so they're just testing the waters along with you. Okay, so they're not going to give you everybody. They're going to give you a couple. Now, the conversation you got to have with them is so important because it shows them how passionate you are. Now, everyone here has been here for a week, up to 4 months now, or longer. So your parents should know by now how serious you're taking this. And if they don't, that's conversation number 1 you got to have with them, because that's going to set up your conversation with how big you're going to go for push. It's also going to set up the right conversation to have with them to help them build more leads for you. So the talk with mom and dad is huge. This has to happen tonight. So I want you to put down in your notes or in your schedule, have the talk. Have the push talk with mom and dad. They know all the extended family. My dad, the Mazes, Jesus. There are so many people in the Mazes. There's so many distant cousins that like show up at the funerals, that like show up at the weddings, that know me, that I have no idea who they are. But my dad has talked to them about me. And there's still so many people. I could create a list of 30 to 40 people right now just sitting down with my parents. I've been here for 6 years. There's people. They're still out there. And this last key with the talk with your parents, for some of you, this is going to work out. Some of you, this won't, depending on how old your parents are. But there was this girl named Tarna Kolp. She was in the North Denver office before we came here. And her dad was a pretty social butterfly dude. He had over like 300 friends on his Facebook. And Tarna just hopped on his Facebook and started messaging people on there. She got the okay from him. She said, hey, Dad, do you mind if I network through your Facebook? He was completely on board with her and her goals. She sold $10,000 over the course of a month and a half just to people from his Facebook. Just a message straight off of his. Or I'll get that confirmed. I think she might have been on hers and just went down his friends list and messaged from her Facebook to them, but just letting them know that she was the daughter of him. So you can utilize your parents' social media. And then last thing with social media with your parents, have them post. Have them make a post. Jenny Sear in the office, she has already made a Facebook post and has had all of her, so her parents shared, she's had her sister shared on social media about how big she's going for her push. She's already booked up 2 demos from that social media post. So that's an awesome avenue too. And you're going to write up orders from doing that as well. So to wrap this thing up, the assignment. Because think about it. If I had $2,000 to $3,000 just sitting right here on the table for you, and it was all yours, but just by the end of this weekend, you had to have 150 to 200 names and numbers on your list, and you could have it if you just came into the office and you're like, hey, I got my 100 to 200 on my list. Can I have my $2,000 to $3,000? And I could just pick it up, stack it, give it to you. How hard would you work these next couple of days to make that happen? How many people would you reach out to? Again, no fear, no nerves, just do it. The worst thing they say is no, and you can hang out with them later. Your friendship is not over because you asked them for their mom or dad's number. You're still allowed to hang out with these people. Okay? So getting MAC customers, getting in front of the right people. This right now is your summer. Everything you've done so far has led up to this point. Your summer is right now. This is your time. If you work hard these next couple days, push just becomes execution and fun. If you got the names and numbers, push is execution and fun. You will thank yourself 20 days from now when you're on stage, when we're on the limo together, and we're having a blast. It's going to be hard work, but do it. No fatigue is felt on the day of victory. Confidence comes from your preparation. Let's work hard on this list. Let's get it done.
Awesome, Maz. There's only one person who can turn a sometimes not so sexy talk into a sexy talk, and that is Alex Mazurek. So thank you for turning the names list talk into motivation and fun. So it's all about the assignment. As Maz just said, it's what you do behind closed doors, behind the scenes that makes the biggest difference. You can put a good face on right now, but as long as you're willing to go home and take advantage of these resources, the sky's the limit for you with Push. To wrap up our meeting today, we've got Mr. Adam Hayes Lemon, and I know on the agenda it says phone jam after. My suggestion is just phone until your first demo today. Get into that